Good evening and good to have you with us on The Last Word. The one big talking point all of today has been MS Dhoni and the wicket-keeping gloves he wore in the last match. With that insignia on the gloves front part that many saw as the insignia, as the symbol of one of the army regiments. Now remember, MS Dhoni is not just a former captain and is not just one of our favorite cricket players. He is also an honorary lieutenant colonel of the territorial army. Officially, he's part of a regiment. He has been given proper training and a uniform that he can rightfully wear. But the big debate comes down to, can he wear these symbols? Can he show this gesture of love and respect for the Indian Army on a cricket field? Is that allowed? What do the rules say? It's a massive debate. It's largely boiled down to emotions and national pride and sentiment versus the rules and regulations that really govern the cricketing world. BCCI has put its weight behind Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and the ICC is firm that he cannot wear these gloves again and play in the World Cup. That is not happening. That's the latest we've got. ICC has put its foot down. Earlier in the day, BCCI said we are going to back Dhoni to the hilt. So in a sense, there is a face-off and the gloves are off. But will Dhoni's gloves come off is the big question tonight after this report.
These gloves and the symbol on it has become this World Cup tournament's biggest controversy and got every single Indian talking about it. The gloves worn by MS Dhoni sports what is being seen as Army's dagger insignia, known as the Balidan row. The Army insignia was spotted on Dhoni's gloves as TV replays showed him stumping a South African batsman in the 40th over of the innings. ICC has objected to it, citing the rule symbols that have a political, religious or racist message can't be worn by cricketers on the field. But BCCI has decided to back Dhoni on this one, paving way for a mega face-off.
The rules say that it should not have any religious, military or commercial significance, any insignia worn by any player. It should conform to the ICC rules. Okay. Now, in this particular case, that insignia has none of those connotations.
Okay.
So we are going to tell the ICC that it need not be removed.
So Dhoni wearing, it is not a commercial endorsement, nor a religious thing. It's only about country's pride. So I don't think ICC should raise any objection on it.
BCCI या कोई भी खेल संगठन जो स्पोर्ट्स फेडरेशन होते हैं उस पे सरकार हुक्म नहीं चलाते हैं और हस्तक्षेप भी नहीं करते हैं. खेल संगठन ऑटोनोमस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, वो अपने तरीके से अपना स्पोर्ट्स बॉडी को चलाते हैं.
Meanwhile, cricket fans in India were outraged by ICC's message to Dhoni, their favourite cricketer who also holds the rank of an honorary lieutenant colonel of the Indian Territorial Army.
Sport and game has rules and regulations, law. So I think every player has to follow that. So if it's within the law in this one and it does not permit, then I think he'll have to. But it's a wonderful gesture from MS Dhoni.
मैं तो धोनी भाई को सपोर्ट करूंगा. हमारे फौज के लिए गर्व की बात है. हमारे फौजियों के लिए एक बड़ा अच्छा संदेश इसमें जाएगा कि हमारे खिलाड़ी भी फौज को सपोर्ट करते हैं.
So tonight, let us ask, has Dhoni violated any cricketing law? Should Dhoni and India give in to ICC's demands? Let's debate.
Let's say good evening to our panelists, being John Alan Sippy, Dr. Bimal Soni, Syed Asad Abbas, Brigadier Rumel Dhaya joining us this evening. But before I go across to our panelists, I have a few Dhoni fans who are joining us. Jayesh and Prateek, along with their entire gang, are standing by. Thank you for joining us, Jayesh, Prateek, and your entire circle of friends and relatives. What is your view? I'm sure you've heard about this controversy. Do you think Dhoni should be allowed to wear that glove?
Yeah, sure. He should be allowed, as there's no problem in that. There's no issue in that symbol or insignia of military, because it is not an official symbol, nor it represents any commercial brands, or it disrespects or promotes any political, religious, or any commercial brands. It is just a symbol that represents the Indian Army, not it's the official symbol, which is. It's not even the official symbol, which is actually in maroon color,
Correct.
written with Balidan on it, imprinted. So there's no issue in it. It can't be proved to be officially a military symbol by ICC. So it is valid. It is not any kind of issue for. It's just a simple matter. So there's no need to remove these gloves off. Also, the captain, the MS Dhoni, he himself is a big idol for Indians. So if he wears and shows patriotism towards his country, then the people also will show and respect the Indian Army more, because he's role model for many of the Indians. So there's nothing bad in it, or not a major issue in it.
Okay, what about those who are sitting next to you? Do any of them want to make a point? And also identify yourself. Tell us your name so we know who we are speaking to.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Can you tell us what you think? Do you think it's right for Dhoni to wear this? It may be seemed as a political symbol. Should that be involved in cricket, or should Dhoni just focus on cricket?
Yeah, he should focus on cricket. There is no political symbol involved in it. It is just a military symbol that he has gained from 2015 training session that was conducted by the military, that parachute one. He did a training there, parachute regiment. There he did a training and gained this symbol. So it is not a political symbol or a commercial symbol.
So,
it is just a promotion of the army, and it should not be.
Okay, so the ICC is not agreeing to this, and the ICC has actually ruled saying no, Dhoni cannot wear this. Do you think Dhoni should not play the next game, or Dhoni should then follow what ICC is saying and not wear the glove?
No, I think Dhoni should play the next game, and he should wear the gloves. As BCCI also had told the ICC that they are backing Dhoni, and Dhoni will wear it.
Okay, behind you, I see a lot of others also sitting, and they've got these posters of MS Dhoni. Clearly, you're all big fans. Does anybody behind you also have a message? Do you want to ask them? Ask them if they have a message for Dhoni and Team India.
धोनी के लिए कुछ बोलना है तुम लोग को? Any message?
East, yeah, West, Dhoni is the best.
Dhoni should play the game. He should not focus on the politics also. धोनी को पूरा गेम खेलना चाहिए, उसको ये सब मामले में नहीं करना चाहिए, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ वर्ल्ड कप. सो धोनी शुड प्ले द गेम, एंड वो ग्लव्स पहन के खेलना ही चाहिए.
अच्छा, so if you can tell them, and all of you can, before, can you all once just send your wishes together, just yell out loudly and say all the best India and all the best Dhoni? Just tell everybody behind you to do that and together do it.
All the best India.
Dhoni.
Dhoni. All the best. All the best India.
All the best.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. And of course, you're reflecting the sentiment which is there across the country right now. But let's get to the actual debate about rules versus the sentiment, rules versus pride, and if the rules have to be followed. Is the ICC doing it in a neutral manner? Have there been instances in the past when ICC has allowed others to break the same rules? So let me come across to Alan Sippy first. Alan, let's begin with you. ICC is just again, we've got this information coming in that they have said the rules say no logo shall be permitted to be displayed, whether it's a manufacturer logo, player bat logo, non-commercial logo. You cannot wear this. No individual can at least wear this. Where do you stand on this debate?
Hi, Tanvi. It's a shame that we're talking about, something like this, because this is the World Cup. And unfortunately, this is taking center stage. This is a shame because we don't want this for the World Cup. But at the same time, if ICC feel themselves that this is against the rules, then they have to adapt it. They have to do something about it. But on the other hand, in Dhoni's defense, he's done absolutely nothing wrong. He's done absolutely nothing wrong because he's just a passionate cricketer. He wants to show his pride for the country. And even he, in his wildest dreams, would not have thought that this would create such a huge ruckus. And I'm also impressed with BCCI because BCCI have come out firmly and they've come out and stood by their man because it's impressive to know that they are behind Dhoni as well. So in all this, Tanvi, I'm actually, as a sportsman, as a cricket lover, I'm a little bit concerned because the World Cup is about cricket. And come Sunday, the Australians will be loving this. They'll be thinking that, wow, this is an advantage to them. Because for them, they will just love this thing. And for India, it's a distraction. Because the Australians, you don't want to give them an inch. And this is a tremendous advantage to them. So I hope BCCI, they can nip it in the bud by talking to ICC, putting forward their case. And if ICC accept that there's nothing wrong with Dhoni's gloves, then they need to move forward. But on the other hand, if ICC feel that Dhoni's gloves, the insignia is creating a problem, then the Indian team management and the rest of the cricketers, Dhoni himself, should come out and gracefully accept that decision and move forward, because this is, after all, the World Cup.
Saad, do you agree? The fact of the matter is that the BCCI very openly came out and took a very bold stand right in the beginning. The sense we are getting is that the ICC is not going to budge. Are we staring at a situation where BCCI will, end up having to give in an embarrassing way after the whole nation seems to have cheered behind them and then given and asked Dhoni to dump the gloves?
Well, it all depends on how the BCCI is going to fight this, Tanvi, and how far they're going to take it. Are they willing to take it? अब देखिए, ये शुरू तो कर दिया ICC ने. ये अब इसको खत्म कौन करेगा? मुद्दा तो था ही नहीं. I don't think Dhoni ever wanted to be a mudda, but it's become a huge mudda. It's become it's become, now we're questioning our nationalism, patriotism, all kinds of things have come in. And in such an instance, what if BCCI refuses to back down? Because if I was the BCCI, I would turn around and I say, all right, fine. You want to talk about political statements being made by insignias? Remove the 3 lions from the British helmets, remove them from the British logos. We'll ask Dhoni to remove his insignia also. Because that signifies that is part of a regiment, the 3 lions. But the ICC will not be able to do that. They will not do that. And now, that's certainly a political statement. The biggest political statement, and I'm sorry I have to say this and repeat myself today, and really it just shows the two-facedness of the ICC. Okay? Our sports minister, today he came out and he made it very categorical that all these sports institutions are on their own. They are not government bodies. If the BCCI is not a government body, if it is a club, then the BCCI is certainly not representing Team India, because the selection process, transparency, RTI, arbitrary decisions taken by the BCCI where 25 se zyada match khel liye to mere dosto chalo I'll double your pension, 25 se kam match khel liye I won't give you pension. So these arbitrary decisions, all that would not have been part of the system had we been playing for our country. Had actually we been allowed to wear the tiranga on our head. The BCCI, they have not got any sort of confirmation to take on Indian colours or to even have the Jana Gana Mana sung for them. That's the biggest political statement that has been made by a team. The ICC accepts that and says, no, we are fine with that because 1.2 billion people, we want them to watch television and we'll make money. But a small little insignificant insignia on someone who's devoted to his paratroopers, they're making a hell of a story about. Now, Dhoni insisting on that is going to lead to a precedence which is going to be difficult for the ICC to actually hold up. What if Pakistan comes at us wearing Rangers colours and all that and it goes out of control? There is no Lakshman Rekha. Everyone's going to cross the Lakshman Rekha, and that's the dangerous part.
No, so you know, you're very right, and you pointed out the 3 lions badge that the English players wear, and that is never objected to. I remember, you know, a couple of years ago there was another match in where they had those poppy symbols that all of them wore on their uniform. Now I find it really odd that when it comes to England and its war and where its countrymen have fought, it's okay to talk, you know, to show your respect to your own soldiers and the sacrifices they made, but for some reason it's not okay for India. So the rules should be the same. Abbas, what do you think? If we are saying let's follow the rules, and the ICC is quoting us the rule which says a non-commercial logo as provided in regulations, it cannot be permitted on cricket clothing, on cricket equipment, then why are these rules not implemented to the on other countries?
Okay, to address things first, let me bring to your notice when Claire Furlong, the strategic communication expert and the general manager, did send in the summons to the BCCI seeking explanation on the same. If not explained, this shall be removed in the next match. On what grounds? Permission was not taken. This is definitely not political, neither racial nor religious. Permission was not taken. Therefore, all Mahendra Singh Dhoni, with all due respect, or the BCCI should have taken the necessary permission. Also, we do understand and know and respect the fact that he is honorary lieutenant colonel, and this Balidan badge is the highest of honor for the parachute regiment. Also, if you check the Indian Army Diktat and the DSR, which is the Defence Service Regulations, a Balidan badge should not be adorned anywhere other than your uniform or on your head. It must be placed anywhere else. It is definitely denigrating. That is a very important point, and I'd like to quote Colonel K.C. Tyagi on the same, and we can definitely do a refer check on that. Also, there have been many points which have been raised on Pakistan, that Pakistan is behind this and so on and so forth. Let me tell you, International Cricketing Council has been headed by an Indian most number of times. The maximum number of revenue which comes in, 70 to 80%, comes from India, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, its sponsors and so on and so forth. Also, the current ICC chairman is Shashank Manohar. When Claire Furlong brought this to the notice, this should be taken up then, the necessary permission. I do not understand what is this jingoism and nationalism coming into play when it is a simple fact. If we ask Mahendra Singh Dhoni what is most according to you, he has time and again in his interview stated that cricket above all else, its rules and regulation. Why was he adorned the honorary rank of Lieutenant Colonel for his contribution to the nation towards the game of cricket? Okay. So let's understand the ICC rule book pertaining to this is
yes, but the fact is, I agree with you if you say he didn't take permission. There was no prior information, advance, permission sought from the ICC. But they're doing so now. They can always go and say, oh, let us wear it for the Australia match, or let us wear it for the Pakistan match. The ICC seems to be in a mood to say, no, not at all. And even when we are having this conversation, there are, there is this... Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I think that's a valid point. Back then they did not take the permission, but now they have definitely seek the permission. And also we've seen this nationwide furore which has taken place. I think Rahul Jory and also the committee of administrators have taken note. Why? Because this is a national pride. But let us understand one simple thing. For any sportsman or even army, military personnel, what is more important? They are profound with the embodiment of the rules, regulation. They are strict disciplinarians when it comes to rules. I'm sure if Mahendra Singh Dhoni is also asked on this, there is no doubt about his patriotism, and we definitely applaud the fact that he's won it. It is a symbol of patriotism and national pride for us. But when it comes to the rules and regulations, they are most important. And now since BCCI has strengthened their approach to the ICC, and I think the International Cricket Council, Claire Furlong, the strategic communication expert, along with Shashank Manohar and the team of Dave Richardson and Kumar Sangakkara, who are the committee head for this particular decision, they must oblige to it, and they should allow
to Brigadier Dahiya.
Go ahead.
Brigadier Rumel Dahiya, good evening.
Permission is sought now.
Yes, Abbas, let me take that point to Brigadier Dahiya, because you mentioned that, for any soldier, it's about rules and regulations and discipline, and if Dhoni is that, then he will respect the rule. Brigadier Dahiya, do you think it was right for Dhoni to even, to begin with, to wear this on his glove? Was there a need to do that?
Well, very difficult to go into Dhoni's mind and say as to why he did it. The point one of our panelists made was that you cannot wear a military, from the military, DSR point of view, or Defense Service Regulations point of view, you cannot wear a military insignia anywhere else other than the place where it is meant to be worn. So obviously, if it was a full sort of insignia with Balidan written under it, then it would have been a full insignia. This is not a full insignia, what Dhoni has been wearing it. So I don't know whether it's a clever trick on his part to appear to be nationalistic, yet not breaking the rule. Well, I don't find any reason as to why a rule is, under the circumstances, the rule doesn't seem to have been broken. But let me also tell you that many people think that let's not cheapen these military insignias by wearing them on gloves and elsewhere.
Yes.
Also people, some people will go to the extent of saying that there are many more people like Mary Kom and P.T. Usha and all this, or people like that, Leandro Paes, for example, who would have probably been better suited, and they've contributed much more, and they should have been better suited for being given an honorary rank. And Dhoni doesn't really own the world, so doing anything like this is not really right. Many people would say that. But having said that, let me tell you that when military enjoys a very high respect in the country, and for right reasons, and being a soldier myself, I'm grateful to the people for showering their affection and trust on the Faujis. Yet at the same time, just remember, if he wears it and loses a match, national morale gets hurt. It is better to keep this symbol out of their professional game of cricket and do well and win the game of cricket so that the whole nation takes pride in that achievement. Rather than wearing this and then ended up losing the match. That doesn't really does anything good.
Okay, actually that is very interesting, and I want to again bring the attention of our viewers to the image which is there on the glove, that insignia design which is there on the glove, and what actually it is being considered to be. And if you put both of them together, like Brigadier Daya was also pointing out, like even the Dhoni supporters, the children initially in the show pointed out that they're not really similar. They're not the same. They're similar, but they're not exactly the same, because what we can't spot is that Balidan written on it. And obviously, because it's so small, it's difficult to further zoom in. But it could be a smart tactic to kind of show that, but not really break the regulations. Which brings me to the point to try and understand, Alan, why did Dhoni do this? Now, we've seen him as a professional, as a cricketer, for so long. He's not really come outright and taken any political stand. And this wasn't the entire team. It was just Dhoni. Why did he do this? What could have triggered this?
I don't think Dhoni had any inclination or any idea that this would create such a big ruckus. According to me, he's just a passionate guy. He's a legend. Everybody knows about it. And he's just a passionate guy, and he thinks very strongly for the Indian Army, which is great for the country. So what he's done, perhaps he's told his sponsors, when they're making the gloves for him, that can you put this to show his pride for the country. So as far as Dhoni is concerned, he's done absolutely nothing wrong. I don't want to go down the route and say that Dhoni's done this on purpose, because I think it's absolutely, there's no way he has planned this. You cannot plan something like this, that this would create such a huge ruckus. So on that point, Tanvi, he's harmless here. But now coming back to the rules, if ICC find that this insignia is actually flouting the rules, then BCCI have to put forward a very strong case. They have to dig deep and figure out how they're going to get out of this. Because if they want Dhoni to wear this, insignia with this on the gloves, they have to dig deep and put forward a very good case. Because if they don't do that, and if they fail, and ICC actually prove that he has flouted the rules, then Dhoni and the Indian team management, as well as the BCCI, must accept this decision gracefully and move forward, because we want to play cricket. And we want the country to enjoy the sport.
Okay, Dr. Bimal Soni, good evening to you and thank you for joining us. It seems that BCCI is now in a fix because the information that we are getting is that the ICC has refused to back down. The ICC is saying nothing doing. Rules are very clear. He cannot be wearing this logo. It's an individual on the wicket-keeping gloves cannot be wearing this logo. Dr. Bimal Soni, what do you think the BCCI should do next?
Well, I feel ICC will not buckle down and we cannot continue to play with these gloves on. So the point is we have to remove the gloves for the next match, but at the same time, short up a second letter to ICC, bring it up in the next ICC executive, see to it that this thing never happens again, this kind of humiliation doesn't happen, and make the change in the rules. But today, it's a ICC trophy. It's a World Cup and you have to follow the dictum, whatever ICC says. Only thing is, you can create support and in the next ICC meeting, put it up. But today, if ICC wants Dhoni to give up the glove, he will have to give up in the next match. Nothing we can do today.
Saad, do you agree? There is no other choice for BCCI?
I think let's question those, Tanvi.
Yeah, Abbas, I'll just come to you. Let me just go across to Saad bin Jung and I'll come to you.
Let's not Tanvi, for heaven's sake, let's not fight this through a lie. Let's not try and say that that insignia is not what it is. It is the insignia of the paratroopers. Let's fight the truth the way it is. And now, let's take this forward, okay? And now it's become, this whole mudda has now become that of national pride. And I'm saying, to hell with you, ICC. If you want to take this up, come, let's take it up. Because if you want a political statement that was made by the British Three Lions, remove that first, and I'll remove my glove insignia. Now, if we don't take that line, and if we give up now, and I'm telling you something, and it is something very close to my heart, because as an Indian, seriously, as an Indian, the only institution that has not been compromised by the politicians is my army. And I don't want any dhabba on it. I don't want them to be involved with sports, with Dhoni. I don't want them to be involved with the politicians. I want them to remain the gods that they are for all of us. Because at the end of the day, it's only they who will come and save my life and my family's life. So let's firstly worship our army and keep them aside from all these. Okay. And then the second thing, let's call their bluff. Let's tell the ICC, jao bhad mein tum log sale, dekhte hain tum kya kar loge. Because if I don't play, you don't have a World Cup. Because I will only play if you remove the Three Lions from the British emblem, and then I will remove my emblem also. Now it's a very valid argument for us, but I think it's time that because of our whole patriotism which has been put on the line, to take that call and say, to hell with you. We won't play the game tomorrow. Let's see what you do. But we will play if this is our condition, and
it's
only
an interesting
if you meet
point.
these conditions, we are willing to play.
Yes, and you know, we were, before this debate started in the newsrooms, we were having exactly the same conversation. And if BCCI, you know, now holds firm, who blinks first? What happens next? Because now we've got less than 48 hours, roughly 36-40 hours before we actually have that match with Australia. Abbas, what do you think BCCI should do? Should we give in? We've made such a big issue out of it, taken a stand. Now should we abandon, you know, our former captain and our wicket-keeping star?
I think with all due respect to Saad bin Jung Sahab, I think he understands cricket much better, and definitely I do respect his word on national pride. There are no two ways about it. I'm sure देश भक्ति हम सबके दिल में है. But जो governing council होता है, especially the International Cricket Council, where all the players, all the cricket test playing nations, everyone comes together. There is a book of cricket. There is a dictum which is followed, and now cricket is governed by ICC. Therefore, I think the players, especially a Dhoni, should answer by his bat. I'm sure जो बल्ले से जो धोनी कर सकता है, beyond, shut their mouths up, show him by the bat, bring us the World Cup again with mere talent, his honor. I'm sure that will be a lot more glorifying than backing down. I think, those points about not playing the next game, coming back to India, I think that is definitely not the right thing to do. I think we as a team need to stick together, come back, and of course, definitely हम भाड़ में जाओ अपने बल्ले से बताएंगे और अपने गेम से बताएंगे. I think शतक तिलक मारना चाहिए हमारे धोनी को, and he will make us proud. Of course, national pride, his duty is important to us. All hail Indian Army with the greatest of respect, but we need to play the game, beat them in the game, and come triumphant over all odds.
Okay, no, but you know, here is another example, and I'm now citing
And the English can have the lines.
This tournament itself, and the West Indian bowler Sheldon Cottrell has been doing this entire routine every time he gets a wicket, and you know, Saad, he does this whole march and salute, and it's he is also a soldier, and he's giving his tribute to his you know, Jamaican soldiers, and nobody seems to be objecting to that. So what's happening? Is there some other level of ICC versus BCCI politics where Dhoni and the army have now gotten stuck?
You're absolutely right, Tanvi, because I don't think the ICC realized what they were saying or what they were doing, and they've completely messed it up. They've raked up something which I assure you they have no answers for. And whatever decision they're going to take is going to have no logical conclusion to it, because like you say, if I'm going to be allowed to bring my army in, if the insignia if the three lions remain on the British helmet, and I'm allowed to bring my the politics and the army and the military into my game, then what is to stop Dhoni from saying, to hell with you, I'll wear my glove? What is to stop the Pakistanis coming tomorrow wearing their Pakistani Rangers helmets and putting on the uniforms and playing the game? It's going to completely ruin the game. And you saw, like you rightfully say about the West Indians. The West Indians are actually demonstrating in an army march, and it's an army victory. So is that allowed? Now, how far are you going to take it? And who is going to decide what is right, what is wrong? Because the ICC themselves have been so badly pushed, they won't be in a position to decide. The players are saying, to hell with it. Now we're in the nationalistic fervor. We've got our people backing us. We're going to go all the way. Tomorrow we're going to come out wearing our army fatigue battles, you know, or even wear plastic AK-47s. So I know it's sounding ridiculous, but there is a point here.
Yeah.
Who is going to draw the line? Because if the ICC allows the insignia of the British and the Indians, it's setting up a huge precedence for the future. If they stop it, if they don't allow it, let the British take out those three lions. Otherwise, the BCCI should not back down.
Okay, a point taken, but Abbas is not agreeing with you. Yeah.
I'd like to counter. Yeah, so
why not?
It's very interesting that Saad bin Jung Sahab has raised this point. I agree with you, sir. Gentlemen, I absolutely agree with you. The three lions should be allowed. Now, when the question comes in, who do we follow? Who is the prima facie here? I think the International Cricket Council, the clause, the agreements, all of that which comes together needs to be crystal clear. It's either black or white. There should be no gray area here. Now, coming to, like you said, the commando salute, to even a Moeen Ali when we saw wearing the
Abbas, what do you agree with?
To so many, there shouldn't be any discrimination of any sort. There should not be discrimination. I agree with you, sir. There should be no discrimination.
Tell me what you agree with, Abbas.
Pakistan,
you said you agree
South
with me.
Africa, Australia, or any World Cup playing or Test playing nation. I
do you understand what I'm? Do you understand even what I'm saying?
Should not.
I'm saying that the English, where cricket was born, I am saying that where cricket was born has three lions, which is a political statement from the time that cricket was born. And you are not even responding to that because you don't have an answer exactly like the ICC does.
Yeah, I don't understand why England's English political message or military message or expression of respect towards their armed forces is all right, and it's not all right for India to do it. Why it's all right for West Indies to do it, but not all right for India to do it? I mean, if rules are there, rules should be for everybody.
Right. Saad bin Jung Sahab, absolutely, I agree with you. There are no two ways about it. Of course, it is a political statement made, and that should also come under the rules and regulations. Yes, there should be no discrimination, and I agree with you. But coming to this point that I'm sure Dhoni understands this game, the rules and regulations as well. When the BCCI was summoned and notified that prior permission must have been taken, they did not. They erred there. So let's agree here. The BCCI has erred. I'd also like to know, very interestingly, why no questions are being raised on Shashank Manohar, who is an Indian and also the ICC chairman, the International Cricket Council chairman. Why aren't we questioning him? Why isn't he on the forefront of the issue? And why isn't he addressing this and also getting the right permissions needed? Because this is definitely about the national pride. And what is the harm? It is not political, racial, or religious. And what is the harm of the insignia on the glove? My question to Shashank Manohar.
Okay, let's say good evening to Prahlad Kakkar, who also joins us. Prahlad, we are now debating on what should BCCI's next step be. We are being told that ICC has refused to budge. They're not going to give in. They have said that the gloves have to go. What should BCCI do next?
Well, listen, BCCI has actually very little choice in this matter. If the country decides that the gloves will be on and not off, then we'll have to walk out of the World Cup. Let's walk out of the World Cup if that's what we want. If national pride comes before BCCI,
no, sir,
then let's walk out of the World Cup and let BCCI pick up the pieces and pay for it. That's the only choice you have. Because if you don't have that choice, and if you turn around and get the whole country behind you all very excited, then what is the point of that kind of pressure? Are you willing to walk out? So don't build up to the pressure where they will be pushed for shove.
Absolutely.
Because if there's a rule, if we have been in wrong about the rule because we didn't take prior permission, then we are in the wrong. But if the pressure is of national pride, then if that is so important, walk out of the World Cup. I'll be very proud Indian if we actually walk out of the World Cup.
Okay. Let me bring in Mr. Brigadier Dahiya in this. Brigadier Dahiya, it's been made into this whole issue about national pride, an emotive issue. It's about respecting the army. Do you think that's also perhaps a little unfair? We've literally reduced our pride to one symbol on the glove. Should we walk out for that?
It's jingoism.
You raised a very pertinent question. Is every battle worth fighting for? Is it the battle to fight for? Is walking out of the game is appropriate price? However, please understand this. Here, two sides are trying to bend the other to their will. They are trying to force their will onto the other, which is a natural game that the countries, people and organizations play. This is the organizational psychology. They try and bend others to their will, and that is a power. We must understand that the world as such, right from olden days, has never been an equal place. India has suffered quite a lot at the hands of colonial powers, at the hands of new powers after the Second World War, and we have had to eat a humble pie on a number of occasions. Today, probably India feels that we are more powerful and we should not be pushed around. So we should be able to question the Britishers wearing 3 lions on their helmet, the cricketers wearing 3 lions on their helmet. Why should it go on? So I would say, however, that if we raise the levels of jingoism so high that there is no backing out and there is only one decision to be made, whether to stay in the World Cup or to stay out of the World Cup, I don't think we should raise it to that level. The saner heads must prevail. I think there must be a mechanism within the ICC framework wherein an emergency meeting of the top executives can take place and take a decision. If they say that, well, you can't wear it, however, we will make sure that nobody else also defies the laid down regulations and will be absolutely equal on it. Some kind of a mechanism of that should be all right, I suppose.
Okay.
We should be able to
no,
play the game
I agree
also,
with you.
I
agree with you, Brigadier Dahiya, but the fact of the matter is right now, what you are saying is right, and that can be, a longer term a negotiation, a face-off, arm twisting, back and forth between BCCI and ICC over some days at least, if not weeks. And we don't have that time because we have a match day after tomorrow that has to be played. So this debate, either which ways, will get settled in the next 36 odd hours. I want to quickly go across the rest of the panel and ask them what they think, because the big question then becomes, Alan, to you first and then to Sadbing Jung and others, should BCCI walk away or should we give in and say, fine, for now it's fine, we'll take it up later?
Not at all. We should never walk away from the World Cup. This is what our cricketers were dreaming about. We should never walk away. This is, we have to be pragmatic. We have to be sensible about this. Sanctity has to prevail. We cannot, if the rules state that ICC feel that we have flouted the rules, then we should accept it gracefully. Like Brigadier said, we do not need to do anything drastic. walking out of the World Cup after you've done so much, why would you want to do that? How do you win you don't win anything by doing that. You're just doing something, just because of spite. You don't need to do that, because Dhoni did not mean to do this. Dhoni had no intentions of doing anything wrong with this. He was wearing with his pride. So Dhoni is absolutely clear. But if the rules are, flouted, then the Indian team management and the BCCI must, in my opinion, must accept this very, very gracefully, and that's how we will be looked upon from the rest of the world as, gracious people. We do not want to show people that, we're strong and we have power and BCCI has money and we can do what we want. That's not the way to move forward, in my view.
Okay, Sadbing Jung, where do you stand on this now? Because we've come to this point, what's happened has happened. We now stand at this juncture.
No, but you've got to figure out how we've come to this point. The last 5 years has only been about nationalism and patriotism. And the Modi government, and rightfully, and I'm so happy that they've done it, have shown us the mirror and said, chaps, it's about time you decided who you are. Are you a Hindu or a Muslim first, or are you an Indian first? And I think most of us took the call that we are Indians. Our patriotism today, and unfortunately it's wrong timing for the ICC, our patriotism today is sitting on the tip of our nose. If you're going to question it, what are we going to tell you? We're going to tell you, give us a level playing field, throw your 3 lions out, or there's going to be no playing field for us at all. And and I agree with what Prahlad said, that, either we go in on a level playing field where we turn around to them and say, you come on the same field, on the same playing field as us. Because if you're not prepared to do that, we are going home. We don't need you. We don't need your World Cup.
Okay, Dr. Soni, you haven't weighed in on this one. Take a clear stand right now. What do you think BCCI should do, boycott or give in?
At the moment, they have to give in. That's my version.
Okay.
But 100%, we should fight it out in the ICC. We should see that we have the fellow nations supporting us. And this is, whatever ICC has done is not right. But at the moment, we have no option.
At the moment, we have no option, says Dr. Bimal Soni. One last answer from Abbas before we wrap this up. Abbas?
Yeah. Okay, so with all due respect to Mr. Prahlad Kakkar, I don't think I have an experience of over 10 years in the last Indian Premier League being a host. I've interacted time and again with Virat Kohli, Dhoni and many of these cricketers, and I tell you, they don't love anything more than the game of cricket. Time and again when I've interviewed Dhoni, he has said on record, the game of cricket above all else. And definitely, we need to abide by it, adhere to its rules. Yes, something unfortunate has happened. But no, I do not think neither for one single over that the Indian team should come back. They should play the game in the spirit of the game. The best way to answer this sort of discrimination by the International Cricket Council is by performing to their best. And I'm sure the way the team has shaped up and come in under the able leadership of Virat Kohli, Dhoni will definitely answer by his bat. The gloves will be off for the victory and off for the win. They should definitely play the game.
All right, completely out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll, of course, I guess, find out in the next 36 hours which way we are going to go. Well, the fact of the matter is, and I think this is what we should take away from this entire controversy that has unfolded in the last 24 hours. First, of course, is the fact that did the ICC unnecessarily make a big deal out of it? Because it clearly looks like ICC has problem when MS Dhoni wears that symbol that looks like a military insignia, but doesn't have a problem when a West Indian cricketer actually enacts an entire march and salute. Doesn't have a problem when the English team wears all sorts of symbols from the 3 lions to the poppy on their field, on their uniform. And if it is about taking permission, should MS Dhoni have thought about it before he did this and sought permission, wouldn't have brought us to this debate. But here is the other big takeaway. This should also be taken, viewers, as a lesson about jingoism. We have made this about our national pride, and I don't know why it has become just that now. An insignia, which may or may not really be the military regiment that Dhoni is linked to, it has now come to a point where we either give in or walk away. But think about it, isn't winning the World Cup also about our national pride? And are we really that country who reduce our patriotism and our nationalism to one symbol that a single individual wears on his glove while playing a match? Did we really have to go down that road? What remains to be seen is what BCCI does next, or if indeed it will be MS Dhoni who breaks his silence on this one. Thank you so much for joining us on this debate.